Alright guys, welcome back. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. I wanted to say Alpha Investments, but that just doesn't sound right. So, I'm late to the party on the Shahrazad conversation. My buddy, Edwin, the engineer, I want to give him a love. I want to give him a kiss. A kiss for you, Edwin. Because he is the one that inspired me to try out his awesome experiment. It was a deck that he experimented with. I think on one of my videos I called it crap, and I was a little, brutally honest. It is crap. He'll admit it, it's crap, but it was an experiment. So I want to apologize. For those of you out there who think that I called him crap, no, I didn't call Edwin crap. Edwin are good friends. The deck itself was not ready to actually be played. Like, it was for testing. It was for fun. It was to brew ideas with Shahrazad. Now, so this video is all about my thoughts on the financial and also the gameplay of Shahrazad. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm just going to say Shahrazad. All right, let's start with the financial. Financial. Okay. First off, number one, reserveless card, yes, it's a cool picture, yes, Arabian Nights, yes, what's 3, been banned all the time, but maybe 4 of now, okay, Rudy has it in his video, okay, how many more fingers can I put up without spilling my coffee? The reality is, guys, and I'm not kidding here, I don't think the card is any good for financial. Yep, I said it. I think the card is going to go back down. Like right now it's like the 200s, 300s. Some people are paying 400 for mint, 500, whatever. I think there's a PSA 10 that's sold for $1,000. That doesn't really count. Is it going to go down? Yeah. I think it's going to go down like $1.50, 100. 100, 150. That's kind of where it's going to settle. Reason being is because the card is not really a 4 of in old school. We'll talk about the price spike opportunities for player side here in a minute, but that affects it for the whole thing of spiking cards. When you have a 4 of a card, which Shahrazad is, for now, that causes the card to go up in value dramatically because of supply. I mean, I don't know how many there were in the U1, 2, whatever category it was, but it was a very rare card. I think it was the same as Juzam rarity, so I think it's U2, U1, I don't know, okay, whatever, but it's very hard, U1. So basically, it was as rare as Juzam, but it's a 4 of, and now it's been like unbanned. It's unbanned. It's being allowed in like tournaments. And I think it won like the Monsters Ball tournament in the East Coast or Midwest. And it won the like 100-person tournament. So it's got all this buzz, all this fascination. So this dream world that it could finally go to like $1,000, $2,000 a card. And, according to Edwin's video, he thinks that, an Instagram post, he thinks that it will go up and all that stuff. I'm here to tell you my opinion. My opinion, the card will probably settle about $1.50, 100 sometimes played. Old Man at Sea-ish. Old Man at Sea goes around $1.50, 200 maybe range. Remember the Old Man at the Sea? When Rudy actually bought a bunch of Old Man at the Seas, and they were going like $400 to $500, $600 range asking prices. And now if you've noticed, they've all kind of settled. I think I just bought one that was signed about $250, but that's signed. That's a rare signature by Susan Van Camp. So, Old Man of the Seas was really high up. And Old Man of the Seas, you don't use that card at all. It's just one of those collected cards, nostalgic, reserveless, has the same fingers. Don't be nasty. Same fingers as Shahrazad, but not really used for gameplay. Now, let's talk about the gameplay. I'm going to be as nice as I can because I built a deck, Edwin's deck, experimenting, with Brian Weissman. You guys know Brian. He's a friend of mine. He plays the deck. He's the innovator of the deck. And we basically game played until like 4 a.m. one night, and we just basically played, and I played the Shahrazad deck Edwin had. And while Edwin's deck wasn't, you know, the refined deck what it was, it really showed me what Shahrazad is not. The biggest problem with Shahrazad that Brian and I really encountered was the annoyance of playing subgames. I want you to imagine something. When you're playing old school Magic, how big is your table normally? Like this? Or like this? Is it ever like this? No freaking way. It's never like that. It sucks. Let me explain to you how it feels. Let me show you how it feels to play old school Magic with Shahrazad. This is how it feels. It's like throwing your coffee away, pissed out of your mind, throwing your hat down. It just, I concede. I don't want to play your sub-game number 4. Do you see what I'm saying? The problem with Shahrazad is that the freaking sub-games are like the Mind Twist guy. It's like, oh my God. And imagine, Brian and I were playing like until 4 a.m. We're just like, okay, sub-game number 3. It's like, I think at a point Brian was like, you know, I'm just going to concede the sub-game because I got you in control because I am playing the deck, and I just don't care that much. That's the first problem with Shahrazad. Do you see what I'm saying? It is a time limit issue. Also a space issue, right? Like I just said. It is so frustrating to play a sub-game. You have to have multiple dice. You have to remember you have to also make sure that your opponent and you don't F it up and put the cards in the wrong place, in the graveyard, the deck. Oh, also what the permanents are. Oh my God. Also, you have to make sure what was tapped, what was untapped at the moment of the sub-game. Oh my God. It so sucks. Oh my God. All right, anyway. Try yourself. Try playing multiple sub-games with someone, and I want you to tell me, does it feel good? And that was just one game out of the best out of 3 games you have to play in a 50-minute match. So that alludes to the other problem, time. You will not be able to ever normally finish the game. You'll end up at a draw, or you'll end up losing by default if you lost the first game. So people will argue, like Edwin will argue in his video, I believe he said, or people have told me, hey, you know, Dan, Shahrazad, you're an aggro deck. So that means you are generally going to be faster than the deck player. Let's say you play a control matchup. So you'll be okay. Time's going to be all right. No, that's not how it works. You will find that with the sub-game and all that stuff, there is a lot of thinking involved because some aggro deck versions, like Edwin's deck, was playing Underworld Dreams and Dark Ritual Underworld Dreams, and got Pestilence and Drain Life, which are 2 cards that you should not put in your deck for that deck at all. So the thing is, that becomes more of like decision making. So if you do a decision making Shahrazad deck, you will have no time. Now, I get it. The deck that won the Monsters Ball had like Sonic Blast, it had like burn cards, Serendipity Free, Savannah Alliance. Okay, that is more quick paced, but I wonder if you don't go fast and you don't, you know, if the other player stalls, it could get bad. All right, so let's talk about like another issue with Shahrazad. And this is probably the most important one. Double white. Yep, that's all I gotta say. Double white. Double white is very difficult to pull off when you have blue, red, black, purple, orange, blue, whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? Multicolored decks. It's very difficult to pull off a Shahrazad deck when you have so many colors in a deck. And I found playing with Brian Weissman that the games that I lost very quickly were the ones he would strip mine my white mana. He would just strip mine my white mana. He would just Chaos Sword my mana. Do you see what I'm saying? He would just destroy my mana. It doesn't matter. If you're not playing a more like a white weenie or white red build or white red blue with something easy to access white, you are going to have a freaking hard ass time winning sub games. And it's not as easy as you think, because you are relying solely on, I gotta, like, think about this. And I want you to think about this scenario. The moment you start out with Shahrazad in the very beginning, let's say you turn 1, you have to put 2 white mana in play. Let's say you go Pearl and 1 white land, and you just put them down. Okay, you Shahrazad instantly. That is to your advantage, because generally control players or even any other players, they're keeping a hand that have things that they need. You just ditch Shahrazad, which is basically not really. It's more of an action. You're kind of reducing a card in your deck that really doesn't do anything. Doesn't attack. Doesn't do you see where I'm going with this? It doesn't really do anything. It's not a burn spell. So chances are in your second game you're going to have more burn spells, aggro stuff going on. But the problem is, you probably won't draw Mox Pearl instantly. So let's say you have, or Lotus, let's say you go with double land. So you take two turns of trying to, use 2 white lands. Unless your mana base has the mana to allow you to basically cast those other spells, the blue, the black, and also red, or whatever the heck colors you're using, you are going to have a very difficult time to cast that Shahrazad. Then comes the difficult question. I saw myself in many instances drawing Shahrazad. Let's say one time on the first game was Shahrazad, but then the second game, sub game, the first sub game, I basically drew Shahrazad again. And then I go off and draw, and then I not only have 1 of them, I have 2 of them in my first sub game. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, this is stupid. Because now I need the white mana to cast that Shahrazad. But what ends up happening is you get like 1 white mana, maybe like a red or, a blue mana, and then you just top deck. You're top decking, hoping for action cards, creatures, whatever. Because remember, your opponent now knows you are playing Shahrazad. They're going to do everything possible to screw you over creatures, over any type of, to cast Shahrazad again, any type, basically, they know the white mana is the key. And old school white mana is always the key. So these games with Brian ended up becoming, and you know what, I should probably do a video with Brian, and we were going to, but it got so late, about his feelings. It really is a card that is easy to fight against. Once you see it that one time, and even the sub game, I think people with Shahrazad have told me, who play it, say, hey, now you have the control. Like, your opponent now, didn't expect that, so they're going to now, you have the upper hand. No, you don't, because now the opponent knows you have Shahrazad. They know exactly what you're going to do. You're trying to aggro them to death. They're going to compete with you as much as they can to prevent certain things during that main game, especially. Because if they happen to lose the sub game, and I want to let you guys know, I didn't win 1 game or a sub game with Brian. Not one. Not one. Some of the starts were so blistering good, I didn't win 1 game. That gives you an example. Maybe it was the deck, whatever, the deck that Edwin made, fine. But it just wasn't good, right? The whole Shahrazad idea, the fundamental idea was not good. So that's the problem with the Shahrazad deck. It's beatable so easily. The opponent actually knows exactly what to do next, because they okay, this is going to be aggro, this is going to be burn, this is going to be some type of Like, they're going to try to basically short my life, so I need to do everything possible. Like, let's say I lose that sub game. I'm down to 10 points. I'm back to the main game. And I basically, now as the opponent of the Shahrazad deck, am going to do more defensive plays, try to get the book out if I'm playing the deck, start drawing for answers, and basically outdraw you because the Shahrazad deck also, and this is the last thing I will say about it, has absolutely 0 counters. That's it. There is no counters at all to the Shahrazad deck. That's what makes it freaking annoying. There's no way, basically, the deck or any deck, aggro, whatever, can basically, oh, Dark Ritual, okay, Jazam, tap a mana, Mox or whatever, Jazam. There's nothing you can do. You can't do anything. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, did we have, yes, there might be a Swords or something, but you can't do much interaction. So that was one feedback that Brian said was, there's no, like, interaction. There's no way to draw cards. There's no way to get cards. It just was not a good deck. I know you guys are probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about? So basically, what's my overall rating? If I was the professor, I would rate this card, honestly. Okay, so I would rate this card, I'd probably rate this card like a D-. It's not quite F, as in fantastically freaking F. I don't want to get demonetized. But it is a D-. Last point. I really will predict, I will predict, that Shahrazad will get banned or restricted basically by NoobCom next year. I don't think it's going to be, is it allowed in NoobCom? I don't even think it is. Maybe it isn't. But I know Eternal Central rules, you can use Shahrazad. But somewhere down the line, it will be banned or restricted. I kid you not. Because what will happen is people will see some of the points on this video, as crazy as I delivered or executed the content here, it doesn't seem, there's some valid points here. And I want you to understand that if you're going to go heavy investment on this card because you think it's going to go 4 of and everybody's going to top 8 this thing and everything's going to go crazy, it's going to beat out the deck and it's going to be the coolest deck. No, I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to say this. Imagine this. You're playing the Shahrazad deck, I'm playing the Shahrazad deck, and we basically Shahrazad each other for like 6 sub-games. That's it. That's all I got. 6 sub-games. You tell me, is that fun magic? Is that the way it should go? No.